everybody will be able to hear me okay. For those of you who are, let me stop this. All right, y'all. So I'm new to a lot of this stuff. I've live streamed before, but I'm in a different system than what I'm used to. So I actually can't even see where. All right, yeah, I'm good. All right, cool. All right, so I do know what I'm doing. So all I'm doing right now is just animating um, our character. His name right now is Moby. That's been his name in my mind for a long time. Um, yeah, and I like him. I like him a lot. He is one of my favorite um, character designs that I've done. And it took literally it took years of workshopping before I got to this point with him. But anyway, what I'm doing right now is I'm gonna actually add now some of this stuff. Like, okay, if I'm doing this in and we're trying to like just have a simple animation or a simple production, something that I'm just trying to get a skit out or something like that, then I may not be this detailed when it comes to animating this because, like I mentioned in a previous live, is that days of trying to make everything perfect is done. I'm not doing that like I used to. No, I'm gonna take a shortcut. I'm gonna do this instead of redrawing this over. Grab this and I'm gonna just rotate this down. A little bit. I just want subtle movement with the leaf. Alright, so right here, I'll do the same thing. And something that I noticed after animating this, I really see why in Naruto and all the other anime, I see why they do the Naruto run. It's basically because it's a lot easier and a lot quicker to animate this if the as much as I like this little dip right here, I'm gonna get rid of it because it's not really believable. It doesn't make sense unless he actually had like hair. Now the funny thing about these characters is that even though they're like plants or whatever, um, they're not. They are plant people, but they're not plants. If you can understand that, it's kind of weird. It's like they are plants, but at the same time they're not plant people. So they do have like regular biology. So they have I guess, plant version of what I guess you can say what a human would be if they were made of plant stuff. Well, no, I can't say that because we kind of are plant people. So, yeah, I don't know how to describe this, but I guess you'll just have to stay tuned and keep up with everything. Then eventually you'll see exactly how, see what I mean. So I'm gonna eventually do some books, but right now I think I'm just gonna focus on the animation, and I'm gonna get to know the character animation wise, and this will help a lot when it comes time to actually promote the book. Actually, I already have some animation, so that's gonna be pretty cool too. So yeah, let me. So what you see right here is just a rough draft of what I'm gonna be doing. This layer down here is just that line that you see. And even though I drew the line, I didn't really have to draw the line. I could have just actually use a guide layer or a guide, like I did up here, because um, one thing you want to do if you're animating a character is make sure that if you're doing a walk cycle or a run cycle, make sure that their head is going up and down and has some kind of bob to it, because otherwise it's going to look really, really weird. I don't have an example to show you, but anyway. All right. So it's funny, like when I was working on this, I felt so out of place. I knew this wasn't right, but I just kept going. And as I kept going, he started forming into like this pose right here is more in line with what his anatomy is, like these frames right here. So I think what I'll do is actually start it right here, or maybe right here. I'll start it right here, and I'll take these frames. Yeah. Oops. And I'll take these frames and I'll just move them back here, and I'll just grab all of them and bam. All right, so this should, oh, no, it shouldn't affect the animation if I'm not mistaken. So let's see. Yep, so everything's still in place. So now all I really need to do is start, make sure. I have to double check these things because look at his feet, make sure everything makes sense. Oh, that's all right. So now I'm gonna fix that. So, oops. So with that, I think what could help that is if I just grab this and rotate them up a little bit. Let's see how that feels. I think I'm gonna just redo that one. Yeah, because he comes down. Yeah, I need to redo that frame. Like I said, that frame didn't feel right when I first drew it, but I'm glad I kept going because otherwise I wouldn't have gotten as far as I did. Oh, I'm not gonna erase the whole thing. That'll be counterproductive. Instead, I'll take this, and what I want to do is get my onion skin right here so I can see both. Perfect, yeah. So I can see my frame before, and right here in the green I can see my frame after. So I'm gonna have his foot line up down here instead of where it is. I knew something was off. And that's the thing about frame by frame animation, is that sometimes, you know, you just have to redo and redo. But anyway, I think I might just stop talking and just get to work. This is huh, that is really strange. Normally, if I go live, I have more people watching. I don't have anybody watching. That is wild. So I might as well just be quiet and just work, because nobody's seeing this, and I'm not even sure if I'm gonna let this stay up after after I finish. All right, so the main thing I'm gonna focus on first is the feet. Let me remove the onion skin so I can remember. Okay, so his front foot. So his front foot will be landing, and I do need to rotate his head back again because that was onion skins. I don't know why I call them onion skins, like it's a snack. Get these onion skins. Funyuns. Alright, so yeah. So his foot should be landing somewhere about right here. I don't know why I'm even erasing, because this is not the like the final at all. So I have a lot of room to actually mess up, because all I'm using this as is all I'm using this for is as a reference. And I want to play around a little bit with how his feet like stretches a little bit. I want it to stretch just ever so slightly, just kind of have like a little bit of a bounce to his anatomy, like a if you animated before, then you know cartoons, or if you just seen cartoons, you know, especially things like SpongeBob, they stretch all the time. All right, so I don't like that. I'm gonna just redraw his whole body, because that is not right. Let's go to the properties. 6. So I'm gonna just redo his whole thing. I'm gonna draw from the foot throughout the rest of his body. And that's weird for me. I don't usually like do stuff like that. I usually start at the head. Oops. 6. Where is it? Usually start at the head and then work from there, but been doing this as long as I have, you learn that you could do things that sometimes you don't like to do or even feel comfortable doing. Like, this is so strange for me sometimes, just to do something simple as not draw the head first. I want to put that shadow down there so bad, so I just did it knowing that it's probably not even going to stay there because I got to do something else. Oh yeah, this will be coming forward, so I need to bring that down some more. Let me compare it to the next frame, keyframe. Hold on. Okay, so I'm good. I can keep him. I can keep it like that for a while because this is still part of that landing. I see now. Yeah. Oh, fun fact. I'm freehanding this. I started to use a um a guide. Oops. You know, one of those animation guides where you can kind of see what frame to do next and all that. I started to do that. I really did. But it just didn't feel right. And it felt like I kind of knew a way that works for me better. And I'd rather do it this way. But I will say this, I am really, really considering um, I'm really, really considering um, um, drawing his arms like in Naruto style, like this, like have both of the arms back while he's running. But I'm not gonna do that. But another thing I do like about this, I will say, is that when when you have to animate and draw this character over and over in you know, frame by frame animation, what it really does is get you like conditioned to drawing the character, or it'll eventually become second nature to draw the character, and that's what I need and want. Because if this is going to be as popular as I want it to be, um, then I want to be able to dish out as many books or episodes as possible. So let's, yeah, I like that. Keep in mind, this is just a reference, so this is not the final animation. I know I'm doing this style a lot rougher than anything that I've considered doing before, but I kind of like the idea of doing a rough animation. And I like that little pause. Let me get rid of it though and see how it looks without the pause. Let's scoot these over. Let's keep the pause right there. Yeah, I'm gonna Hold on, let me see. Bring this in. Yeah. And have a pause right here. And then let that be a faster frame, or faster or shorter frame. And then bring this over here. Yeah. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that way while he's in the air, it looks like he's pausing a little bit. But that pause is a little bit too long, so I'm just gonna get rid of those frames. Get rid of 2 frames, probably be good. And then do the same thing here. Bring this down. And yeah, there we go. All right, again, this is just a rough cut of what the actual animation is going to look like. That's the thing that bugs me about animation, though. It's like you have to do everything twice, like, or at least twice. You have to draw the characters or animate the characters before you actually animate the characters the way they're going to look when you present it to people. And that is probably one of the reasons why I haven't been doing this as much as I probably could have been doing it. It's because I look at the work and say, I don't have time for that. I can't do that. But at the end of the day, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. Now, I am debating on a few things, like I could do, you know, like I could do the frame by frame animation where it's hand drawn every frame, or I can do that more of a flash style where, you know, I create the the drawing, and I can kind of show y'all, or you, because I think it's just one person. What's up? Hold on, let me see. I can't. I'm in a new system, so I can't really even see your name. But thank you for watching. I appreciate it. So, but anyway, so basically, what I would do is let me create a new layer for this. Let's say this was his head. I would take that, and I'm in Adobe Animate, by the way, Adobe Animate, and I would go to modify and convert that to a symbol, and I'm just gonna name it symbol for now, just because I'm gonna delete it. And what I would do is, let's say this was his head, and each frame I will make a new keyframe, and I will place it where the head goes, and I probably should have made it the exact size, but it's okay. And I'm just gonna follow the top part of his dome. I might need to fix that because he went backwards a little bit. I might need to fix that. I don't know. But anyway, let's see how the ball looks when I finish this. All right. So if I do it this way, this is kind of how it would look. Now, the cool thing about that is if I put like a motion tween on it, sometimes it can have a cool effect. Sometimes it just makes it look bad. So let's see what it does this time. I'm gonna actually, I need to create another keyframe right here, then do it. So let's see how that looks. Yeah, that doesn't look good. So in this case, that probably wouldn't be the best way to go anyway because I need to fix that rough animation. So right here, there it goes. He went backwards a little bit. So let me do this. Oops. I'm gonna try to keep him centered about right here. So let's grab this, grab the entire layer. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, there we go. Microphone check. Can you hear me? Microphone check. Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. Yeah. Wow. 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 Hey. Let's see. Am I in the frame when I'm animating? Yeah, that's better. That is better. I like that better. All right, so now I'm gonna get rid of this bottom layer. Oh yeah, and I don't need these here anymore, so I can actually delete those. And I'm gonna bring this. Oh yeah, I need to delete that symbol. All right, so just to test this out, what I'm gonna do is have him run from one side. Oh, that was cool. I'm gonna have him run from one side to the other side, but I need to delete some of these frames because it doesn't need to be that long. Why did I do that? Remove frames. Bam. All right. So I'm gonna make it where it takes him 1 second to get from here. Let's make that 2 seconds. And let's put this frame over here. And let's create a new frame over here. And this is necessary because I want to know if it looks natural for me to have him running across the screen. So if I do that, what should happen is he'll run from point A to point B, and it looks pretty natural. We can make them faster, or we can make them slower. like that one. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, let's do this. Yeah. I really like that. All right, so now, yeah. All right, so let's go back into here. Let's get to drawing these frames. The great thing is it's only a few frames. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Huh. Only 8. All right, so all right, so I made this into um, uh, what I did was I converted that whole layer into a symbol. That way, this animation will um, it'll still be there. I can use it. I can save it for later. Maybe even use it for a reference for a different character at some point. But what I really wanted to do is actually this right here. So I can go to alpha. I'm under properties. Have this selected. Go to properties. Make sure not tools. It is should be object. I think. Yeah, object. And under color effects, you can just go to alpha, and we can bring that alpha down. And alpha is nothing but transparency or opacity for those of you who use Photoshop and Illustrator and all that. All right, so now it's time for the cool stuff. So I'll do the outside first. All right, see that perfectionist in me starting to trying to peek his head out. Don't do it, just draw. That line is not that important. Don't waste your time. All right, there we go. I gave him a little belly pudge right here. I think I'm gonna get rid of that because he's in really good shape. And plus, if you don't have to have that, then I'm just dreaming. I'm living my life through him. You know, I don't want that pudge. So I'm not gonna give him that pudge. So anyway, it's funny that 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 leg or that line I used for his leg just now. I wanted to redraw it so bad, but I'm not gonna do that to myself. I'm not gonna sit here and torture myself and waste my time on that one thing when I know it's not that big a deal. All right. Another great thing about doing it this way too is that I can already know or have, tested out all the moving pieces for for like the leaf and his legs, knowing that they'll look okay, knowing that they're gonna animate properly. I like that I gave him that little shoulder thing. Yeah, matter of fact, I'm gonna give him a little muscle. Boop. Let's make it thin, very, very thin. I want people to barely notice if they notice at all. And then this part is let's have him keep his eye on the prize. And let's have him open his mouth a little bit. The only thing I don't like about this angle is he looks like a cyclops. Oh, I hate that. Let's draw his citrus bumps, or not bumps, but little citrus freckles, the little indents. When I came up with that idea, I thought it was just so cool. I was like, oh man, that's pretty dope. Looks like he has like freckles. I want to draw this hand over so bad. I'm trying to get out of being a perfectionist, y'all. I'm really trying. I couldn't ignore that one. Let's just leave it like that. I don't want too many details right here. He is running. It's going to be kind of a blur. Yeah, that works. Next frame. Now, the great thing about this, it makes me wish I used the pencil tool. Because if I used the pencil tool, I could easily just move this around, but it's okay. I like this arm a lot, and I don't want to draw it over again because I think I won't do as good of a job. So I'm going to cut this arm out in this frame. Oh, actually, I have to redraw that arm. Never mind. Never mind. Now his head, on the other hand, I don't have to redraw that. I can. The only part of that I have to redraw is the leaf, his hair leaf. I have to come up with a name for that. If you can think of a name for what I should call their leaf-like hair, let me know, and maybe it'll make it to production, make it to the script. Oh yeah, let me do that. Yeah, I'll keep that leaf, and I'll do what I did before, and I'll just rotate it up a little bit, and then clean up that line afterwards, because it does need to go up. Since he's landing down, it's going to need to go up just ever so slightly, like that. And then I'll just zoom in right here and clean this up. Zoom out. Wait a second. That leg is too big. Or maybe it's not. Okay. Just trust myself. Now this foot seems like it's too small, so I'm gonna give it a little bit more. Let's look at the frame before it. Yeah, it is a little bit too small. So I'm gonna give it a little more length in the reference. There we go. Let me go ahead and add this line right here. And have a solid foundation for where he's standing. All right. this is where we really start to make things happen. All right, so let's bring this over. All right, so now I get a little turn, which I'm loving this part because it's making him feel more 3D, like he's not just, even though he is 2D, but make him feel like he's not so two-dimensional. And I don't always do that. Like if you look at what I've done with pork chops, I made that 100% like super 2D. So this is kind of back to what I used to, well, really back to what, you know, the root of what I used to admire a lot as an animator, or even when I first went to college. I loved, like, you know, idea that people did the frame by frame, and I always admired frame by frame animation, but I never liked the idea of doing it all myself and feeling like it's like a huge responsibility, a huge burden, and then especially when they have faster ways to animate, I just never saw like myself wanting to continue to do like just a whole lot of frame by frame. That line is too thick. Let's do this first. Yeah. All right. So some of my intentional and unintentional, um, I guess, inspiration, right? Subconscious inspiration, I think, potentially came from um, shows that I watched as a kid. And if you can think of some, put them in the comments. What show or shows do you think inspired me when creating Aliaga? Actually, when creating Aliaga, I wanted to create, I just had a idea. I don't even remember um, like the major details of like what happened that day. All I really remember is that I was excited about the new idea, and I thought that it was good. I was like, oh, this is, and that it's different. And honestly, this is a long time coming because the original idea, I had that in 2009. The original idea, well, maybe even before then, because I'll put it like this: I have proof, or I say 2009 only because my I have some old sketches with like the date on it, and I think that was the day I started drawing for Aliaga, but that doesn't mean that's the first day that I thought of it. But yeah, again, I'm giving him. I would give him a little belly, but listen, I'm trying to get rid of my belly, so I want to live through him. It's weird how I'm not giving him a neck right there. And there may be times where his like neck will stick out, like he'll do like this, and you'll see a little neck, but not right here. And he's not gonna get one either. I think I'm gonna move that in some. Yeah, so I'll do this. I will say this: it's way easier to draw him with that reference there. So I kind of do like that aspect because that drawing that sketch, you know, drawing something from nothing is never like easy. Just imagine how God felt. But God was in his bag. It make you wonder too, like what version is this reality? Like, is this the first rendition of human life? Okay, I'm gonna need a keyframe for that because that looked like that foot is too small. So I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Had to fix that. There we go. So let's look at what we have so far. So now he doesn't look like a cyclops anymore. As you can see the second eye right there. Yeah. And what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna keep that face. I'm not gonna get rid of the face because I don't want to draw that again. I am being super, not lazy, I would say productive. Because if you don't have to draw it twice, don't. Why would I do that? Just to say that I did it? Get out of here. This is my time you're talking about. Alright. Alright, so I don't like how the leaf moved last time when I did the little trick. That works well for um, the sketch or the rough draft, but I think I'm just gonna redraw it ever so slightly. And just follow this. Oh yeah, one of his techniques is that he's able to remove his leaf and use it as a weapon, which is really cool, I think. It's not like super original, but it is something. Um, some of his other powers are a little bit more original, and some of them actually aren't. Now that I think about it, now I'm saying it out loud. Another one in particular, like he actually has the power of gigantification. He can get big, which really helps in his line of work because he is an exterminator. All in all, like pretty much in that world, that's pretty much what is It's probably not going to be called an exterminator, but that's basically what he is. Wow, this is something else. I don't even know how I feel. I haven't done this in so long. Almost felt like, you know, I would probably never animate again, like in this fashion, that is, you know? And look at me doing this. I am amazed. I'm amazed with my own self. With my own self. Yeah, you heard it. With my own self. All right. I think I need to give him a little longer leg on that one. Just a little. There we go. Let's hide the reference and see what we have so far. I am really actually enjoying this. This is actually a good time. So let's look at this one. Okay, so I'm gonna redraw the head this time around. That way I won't have to redraw it there, I don't think. And then I can come back here to get that head for that frame. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do that so I don't forget, just in case. Just in case. Let's go to this one. This will be easier to take. Oops. What am I doing? This is the lasso tool, by the way, for those of you who are watching this later, because I don't think anybody's watching right now. And I copied it, and now I'm gonna paste it in this frame. Here we go. That way I'll remember not to recreate that, and I'll also redo the leaf there. So I'm just gonna delete this. I'm going to save this file. I haven't saved none of this. Oh my goodness, that is crazy. I'm glad it didn't. And that's another thing. I am really upset with um, Animate right now because it has not been treating me right. Like it has been crashing every day. So I need to make sure I get in a better habit of saving things. So I just saved it, so I'm good now, but still. All right, so with this one, I'm gonna need the onion skin on, but I need that to be a little bit lighter though. Okay, there we go. That's how I do it. Oops, too far. Okay. All right. This part is a little bit harder because I'm trying to imagine his head a lower and tilted back closer to profile view. So I'm gonna do it though. Stop thinking about it and just do it. That's what we got to do. All right. So that was a bad sketch, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. All right. I'll just follow the top of his head. That's in the right place. Hold on. That's in the right place. All right. His eyes a little bit lower, and this part is showing just a little bit because he turned his head. So yeah. And there we go. All right. So now this part will be there we go. Huh, that was easier than I thought it was gonna be. All right, let me turn this onion skin off now. All right, so his body got longer. So I think I had to do that. I did want him to have some kind of bounce with him and some stretch, some squash and stretch. But I don't know. Well, it kind of, you force your foot down. That makes sense. It worked out in this rough, so let's see how it looks here. And if I do need to change anything, I will. But his pants need to stay up higher though. So I'll put his pants up here. And I'll bring his shorts a little bit lower. Let's see. Nope. His shorts about right there. Oops, undo. Hide that. And his arm, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to bring that in some. So this is gonna be about more like right here instead. I really hate this pose. This pose is not my I see what's bothering me. It's the leg. It's the leg. It's the leg. It's the leg. Oops, almost. Not quite though. Too thick. That's what she said. All right, there we go. Oh, man. Know one thing, if you work for an animation company and you don't get chiropractic services as part of your benefits, that's not cool. Especially if they can afford it. Now, when I start hiring animators, if I can afford it, yeah, I'll make sure everybody get what they need to make sure they stay healthy. Because if they're healthy, then I can make sure that I can hopefully keep them with me. They don't have to, but I would prefer that I have some kind of retention that people stay at. Meshack Media and Holy Cow. Oh yeah, it's looking good, y'all. It's almost there. We're more than halfway done. All right. All right. Apparently, people aren't watching this, so I'm gonna stop wasting my stream. I don't know. I'm glad you don't have like a stream uh, account where it's like uh, you have a certain amount of stream hours. That would suck. If you want to make a failed business, do that. Give people stream hours, and then when they run out of stream hours, they have to pay. Not only will they not do it, it's just a terrible idea. It's just terrible. Anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and stop streaming, finish this up, because nobody cares to see people animated. They want to apparently just see the finished animation. And that's fine. I get it. But I'm enjoying this way more than I thought I would. I really am. Oh yeah, I like that. Oh wow. Is that frame? I think that frame. Hold on. Oh, okay, no. I think those two frames, this one and this one, were meant to be like that one. So I can actually save a little bit of time and copy those two. Yeah, that'll save some time too. So I'm gonna copy this, bring here. And bring that here. Well, not bring it here, it's already here. Bam. And just bring that up. And let's look at this.
Nick text you?
No? Well, maybe he did.
He probably did.
I'm live right now. I'll stop. Bye, nobody who's watching. If you're watching this later, I appreciate it. But people who not watching, man, thank you for that one person.